Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy December 31st, 2023. New Year's Eve has finally come upon us, or we've come upon it, whichever way you want to look at it. And I just felt like, how could I go all year long and come to this culminating moment and not pop in for a message? Particularly since the date reads 123, 123. If you get into it, 12, 31, 23. And it's almost given like a ready, start, go type of vibe. So I'm not going to try to control the reading too much, but obviously I'm hopeful that it's something positive and forwarding for the new year as we close out 2023 and get ready for 2024. I kind of have in mind to kind of go in that vein as to what we're leaving behind in 2023 and what we can look forward to in the year ahead. That's kind of where my mind is, but where spirit guides, is a whole nother situation. So let's just see what we got here, okay? Of course, I hope you're doing well. I hope you are preparing your hearts and minds accordingly for this crossover moment, which is just a shift in another day, because what is time really, right? But definitely an opportunity for us to get in gear for a fresh perspective. It's just that season, to want to start off the year powerful and strong and with a new perspective. So definitely wish you all the best and all that you're preparing for, all your rituals and all your spiritual or otherwise. A lot of people have things that they do on the last day of the year: wash clothes, clean the house, sage, take a bath, take a shower, wash your hair, whatever it is you feel prepares you to be anew. I send you the most high vibrational vibes to do so, okay? All right, so I'm not going to turn over the card. Do I want to do that? No, let's just get right into it and we'll see how this flows. Since it may be like a two-phase type of as above, so below type of thing, but we'll see. I don't really know. You're just going to have to flow with me on this one. All right, well, we got the Chariot card. We got the Chariot card and Eight of Pentacles, which is about work. Hard work, toil, and labor. You know what? I'm feeling like maybe we should just look forward. We don't need to know what we're leaving behind in 2023 because I can't tell you, right? And you can't tell me. I just wish you all the best with releasing with the Chariot being the first card out. I wish you all the best with releasing whatever you have come to terms with is worthy to be released, and that you move forward in victory and success accordingly, doing the things that you love to do. That's where we're going with this. We're not okay. Thank you, Spirit. No problem. Like no problem at all. Exactly. Confirmation. Moving forward, empowered, and with power from a divine source with new inspiration. That's what that is. Ace of Wands, new inspiration, ambition, authority, excitement, enthusiasm, plenty of aha moments and breakthroughs on the horizon on account of our hard work and dedication to the things that we feel connected to. That's definitely an expression here that victory and success is coming on the back of what we've dedicated our hearts and minds to, not just material manifestation for material sake, but when I see the Eight of Pentacles, it's about doing what you feel inspired to do, like what almost doesn't feel, literally with the Ace of Wands, it almost doesn't feel like work. You know, you would do it for free if you could, or maybe you do, or like, and maybe perhaps that's the reward of material that's coming on the other side of this. Yeah, love it. World card is that you may be up for some reward on account of the things that you've dedicated yourself to. What do we call it? Selflessly to some degree. Not entirely selfless, because with the Eight of Pentacles, obviously there's some satisfaction there, but it's not a matter of I'm doing this because of how it pays me type of vibe. You're doing it because either you feel called or inspired to do so, or because it just is gratifying, and the simple act of faith and devoting yourself to that level of service and servitude is especially what Spirit wants to reward, perhaps with more enthusiasm, more inspiration, and as to how to take this energy to the next level, or take this investment to the next level, and also perhaps even to be receptive of the rewards and return of the labor invested on the front end. Okay, so we got the World card, perfect, closing cycles of old, beginning new ones, like literally not even looking back, I would say, even as the World card does, but it's really about celebrating your newfound power, like how empowered you have become on account of what you've been victorious in spite of or despite. 2023 was no year to shake a tail feather at, like it was not for the faint at heart. And moving forward, there are new challenges and charges, I would say, for sure, to surmount, or to live up to, or live in to some degree. But it's not going to be anything like it was. This is the surge of energy and enthusiasm and empowerment that you get to feel on account of having closed successfully and ultimately, stay dedicated and focused through all that you experienced as well, is going to give you a new vitality to move forward in ways that are just unprecedented. You will never feel the same way that you may not feel the same way tomorrow that you feel right now. That's how I feel with the Ace of Wands. It's a very fast moving energy. I feel like, and perhaps even sudden and maybe astounding as to the shift that's going to take place. Maybe not as quickly as tomorrow, but maybe so, but certainly for those that, perhaps that's why I was speaking about the preparation of really cleansing last year and the ready, set, go mentality, that it just may be a quick turnaround in that regard, because it's kind of like, what else is there to really anticipate at this point but the manifestation of all that you've been working on anyway, And then the world is primed for it, ready for you to emerge, Oh, look at that. Wow. Ready for you to emerge. Wow. Okay, Spirit. In all your glory and splendor, like unapologetically. And here it is, this spirit of standing your ground. And but I love it though, because it's still coming off of, with the Ace of Wands, it's like even the ways that you may have felt protective over your energy before and over your destiny, it's like it's with different it seems for me with the Star card, this feels more effortless. It feels more natural. It's just like you've learned how to be protective of yourself, to affirm your position of power, and now you have spiritual support. Well, you've always had spiritual support, but it's going to be so much more prevalent and expressed, given the Star card. That's like energy of like being seen, you know what I mean? So I'm feeling like the protection that you have ultimately kind of garnered for yourself in spirit and in truth is going to be so pronounced that it'll be undeniable. And that's also what's going to aid and support in that extra fuse of confidence and courage and even curiosity to break out into things into new territories, and to really kind of like stand on the purpose that you that may be astounding to others for you to do so, standing out in a way. And it could be astounding in a good way. It doesn't necessarily have to be, with the Seven of Wands and the Star, it's just like, it just seems like you may have a lot of attention, a lot of maybe good, bad, or indifferent, but you may draw quite a bit of attention to what it is that you're doing, how you're expressing yourself, what creativity you're sharing, just maybe plainly just how you carry yourself. You may not be doing anything, even though this is wand energy, surely, but it may not be so pronounced even in the forefront, but perhaps even what you've been working behind the scenes on, if you continue in that regard behind the scenes, it's still going to somehow pronounce itself in your appearance and in your persona. It's like you're going to be shining and glowing in a way that you're not really going to be able to hide, So maybe that's the preparation here, to just get ready for lovers, haters, fans, subscribers, some influx in attention, or to be more assertive perhaps in your expression of power than you ever have before. Maybe you've been a bit more passive, and now the charge has come for you to stand out in a more forwarding way, in a more brilliant way than before, like not necessarily, maybe not to play the background as you may like to do, like whatever it is that you're working on or whatever you've been committed to may almost be kind of thrusting you into the spotlight in some way, shape, or form. But have no fear, have no fret. This past year and so on and so forth, beyond that, of course, has been conditioning you to stabilize yourself for your, with the proper boundaries. And which is why there's this affordance of a move forward in the first place, and success and victory the way that it's showing up, because you obviously have learned something about what it means to protect your energy, when to pull back and reserve, and when to pronounce and project. You've learned that. You've gained that wisdom from experience, so you don't even have to. That's probably why I'm saying, like, you don't have to be particularly anxious about, oh, am I protected? Am I all right? When you're starting to be more familiar to the public, or familiar in whatever your field of expression may be, or more favored, and maybe even your social circles. Like, people want to know what you're doing, what you're up to, what you're working on. Can they be a part? Can they just hang out? Can they get a drink? Can y'all do stuff like that? Like, there's a heightened demand here. I don't know why I'm harping on it so much, but there's a heightened demand that you may have been used to kind of working on your lonesome to some degree, and a lot of people have been more in a solitude space and spirit over the past year or so, and now it's like, get ready to co-create perhaps. And with that sometimes comes a bit of I wouldn't say a conflict, but sometimes there are contentions within even yourself, and expressing yourself, or and you being more exposed than what you're used to doing. Like, for instance, so practical as this, just kind of learning social cues again, like learning, well, not social cues, but like social etiquette to some degree. You may find yourself feeling, even if you actually aren't, but feeling a bit socially awkward, yet there's all this heightened demand for you to engage and communicate and commune and exchange ideas and all that. And you might be one that kind of likes to hold it in, like they're being very overly protective because you've been conditioned in that way too. So I feel like it's a call for a great balance to do just enough and not too much. Do what feels right and what makes sense to protect what you've been clearly working hard on one way or another. But to open yourself up a bit and almost trust yourself to, trust that this new experience of life, however it gets to be, is ushering you into opportunities to engage for the good. There it is. Because the star is very good energy. First of all, it speaks to having done a great deal of healing. Yeah, I'll take it. We're going to take whatever comes out today. Having done a great deal of healing. That's the nature of this process over time that we've all had to encounter in one way, shape, or form, to have established a great deal of confidence and security in who you are unapologetically. Just being you, expressing you, doing you, even just being by yourself, as I've said. But now it's time. Co-creativity is definitely on the horizon. We can't do this alone. The things that you have to offer would be even more empowered and expanded and elevated when you can add that creativity with someone else, or even just sharing, at this point in time, for it to be able to make an impact on whomever you designed it to do so, So it's time to break out. It's time to break out. And trust me, I am definitely talking to myself in that regard, okay? So I'm not preaching to you, because Lord knows, I've been quite content being in my sacred solitude for sure. Coming from, and for me, that was a great drastic change because I am very social. You know what this is giving me? Socialite. I just heard it. Socialite is what I just heard with the star. But the Seven of Wands almost feels like contrary to that, but it's like you can't really get around it. It's just a matter of just creating balance, because for whatever reason, you have something that others want to see or want to connect with or want to be a part of. And yes, certainly there will still be a call for healthy boundaries, because everybody is not wanting to engage for your greatest good, but we kind of have to balance and ground ourselves from that impulse of paranoia to believe more heavily on that end than the other, on the upright, that maybe it's just time, and everybody's coming out of their cave, literally, look at this, out of their hiding space, with the Seven of Cups into the Nine of Cups, having come out of some really how can I say this? Not illusion and delusion. In some ways, yes, for sure, but it's really given this haze of understanding. And understanding of self more than anything is what we've all kind of gone through, where exactly our spiritual selves are best placed or best invested, understanding what the essence of us is in the first place. This is all that's come out of this haze of the Seven of Cups, to what? Progressing into the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment, spiritual satisfaction. Is no longer being a big question mark over your head as to what the hell am I doing here, but it being very clear, and you finding right under, I love it, with the Chariot, and under the Nine of Pentacles, the satisfaction of your spiritual nature, seeking to satisfy first and foremost, and then accepting that in ways that may have been unconventional, that may have been uncertain, but that was the faith, right? With the Two of Wands, to just step out and see the world bigger than what you've been conditioned to do so, and understand yourself to be more expansive. Like the Two of Wands sees a greater horizon. And although the world in his hand is small, almost like a globe size, to me, it in the highest vibration, it speaks to just broadening your perspective of your place in the world, and you know, its place with you, if that makes sense, because it's like he's looking upon a land that is vast, great opportunities, but in the same sense, it's also not seeing yourself as something so small as to be insignificant in the world that you inhabit as well. That they're, again, to that co-creative existence here, that you're just as important and significant within it as it is for you. I hope I'm saying that right. So yeah, I love that. So wish fulfillment all around, spiritual satisfaction, happiness, contentment with the Nine of Cups, like literally being satisfied with what you do, how you're moving forward, the success that you are, the successes you're acquiring and accomplishing, and your means of getting there, of doing so. And with the Chariot card, I just saw something else with security, like this leading the way. It's like you're protected, you know what I mean? The Chariot kind of gives like police or authority vibes, and it's like you can work peacefully, you can work at ease, because it's almost like something is covering you. You don't have to like work and look over your shoulder while you're working anymore, as long as you're taking the natural precautions, as legal measures and things of such, and just being wise with who you share your information with. And that comes along with the cultivation of emotional intelligence and intuition and such, and learning how to trust yourself through this process to know exactly what that looks and feels like, so that you kind of relieve the rest to the best, if that makes sense. Not fearing the worst anymore, or fearing for your own protection, like it's outside of you and it's within you all at once here with the Chariot card. I'm just picking that up now. And I love that. So, here it's like, you know what to do when you need to do it, but it's already being done for you as well. Maybe perhaps it's the devotion that you committed yourself to in the first place that afforded you a great protection. Maybe because your work is so important. How about that? Like what you are working on, the value that you're bringing to this realm, to this life experience. Yeah, I'm feeling that real deep. It's so important to the divine that there is no other option but for you to be blessed and protected. Highly favored, as a matter of fact, because you are essential to creation. You ever think about that? You ever see yourself that highly? You should. Maybe that's also what the new inspiration gets to be, for you to see the true value of who you are, not just like run of the mill, one of a million. That's kind of what I'm saying here with the Two of Wands, like seeing the world is in your hands, not to feel as though, to like be drunken in ego and pride, like I run this shit, that type of energy. It's like a happy balance, as the Two of Wands is, the higher perspective, the higher mentality of that frequency, to know like I make an impact, I am important, what I am working on, what I'm engaging in, just me being me. How about that? Like before there is the doing and the having, there's the being, and just you having found your connection and awareness and security in who you are organically makes a major difference. If you don't do nothing else, that alone makes an impact and an impression in the creative consciousness of this world. Indeed, that is a power force in itself. So I love that. I love that for us. Wow, this is awesome. Let's keep going. And we got the Emperor card here, which is good. I feel like this is power well placed and projected objectively. really taking charge of your energetic force, not letting anybody else dictate to you what life gets to look like, what life gets to be, really being, supremely creative, perhaps even CEO, COO, or some high powered, I was going to say executive, but I just feel it's more than just like a part of, particularly someone else's kingdom or establishment. It could be, and for that, congratulations. Maybe that is a promotion with the Ace of Wands and the Emperor. Maybe that's what it is, this promotions, but it can be in the practical sense, meaning actual upward mobility within whatever establishment you are committed to. And that's amazing. Congratulations. And or it could also be just an upgrade or a promotion in your spiritual existence, as I kind of just talked about, just knowing that you are the man or the woman. Take it as it applies. Really and truly, it's here in the Emperor's perspective, because it's doubling down on the proactivity and like the authority that you're authorized to assume. That's what it's speaking to. So it absolutely could be masculine or feminine, just as the star has titties, but certainly the star could be masculine, or if and the world has titties, but and the Ace of Wands is representative of a phallic, but certainly it can also be a magic wand. It just depends on how you see yourself and how you see your circumstance. So, given we all have masculine and feminine energy within us, it really is no slight to either one, particularly not in this reading for sure. And here we go with the full new beginnings. You now connecting to this power and it being something fresh because it's a way that you've never really experienced yourself. Yeah, this could absolutely be some new position of sorts. For sure. And it's like, it may be something that, it could be a new business too. It could, like I said, it could be, you could be becoming a CEO or whatever the top management of your own organization may be, because you're starting something fresh. So naturally you would be the head of that organization, right? The head of that establishment. And it is altogether new. It's a new journey because, like I was saying before, maybe you're used to working on your own, but now what you've been working on is becoming exposed. It's being publicized. It's being, it's available to the public. It's receiving some type of recognition or some type of, it's establishing, like not establishing, but it's like inciting some interest of sorts, maybe perhaps in the, like I said, a very astounding way, like out of nowhere, or something that you were working on that you didn't expect to be received in the high regard that it is now is. And perhaps now you go from being, your own man, company, employee of one of one, to now employing others. Now you're responsible for engaging others within your establishment, because you can't do it by yourself. You actually need the help to make things run effectively and efficiently. So congratulations on that. If that's the case, like, this is amazing. There's nothing left to be desired here already. And I'm going to do another row. So, okay. This is the legacy. Wow. That something is really going to take off, and it's going to be extremely profitable. Prosperous and profitable. Not just like ideally, like I said, how you're just working in good faith and just doing what you love, but that's That's ultimately the derivative of that energy, though. That's what happens when you commit yourself and devote your time to things that you feel designed to do. The money comes, the recognition comes, even when you don't want it. The stability, the accolades, the achievements, the um, authority, it comes. The opportunity to just really, like, with the Fool card, that's energy. It's not just about new beginnings, but it's about moving in a spirit of faithfulness, like it's and this under the World card is giving me that's the energy that you get to progress in moving forward. It's not no more struggle. The Fool is very footloose, fancy free, just kind of going with the flow, perhaps being guided by intuition, of course, by sense and sensibility and practicality, of course, too. With the Emperor here, it's like the merge of the two. The Emperor ain't just not a good emperor anyway, ain't just flying off the handle, but it's just like trusting your instincts. That's what it is. That's what it is. Being able to feel trustworthy of your own instincts, and then seeing the evidence that you were well guided to do so. Like when you see the Ten of Pentacles for all that you've entrusted yourself to do, in the way that you have given yourself liberty to be, right under the Star card, the way that you've been directed to protect yourself or establish boundaries that may have been, especially for some of us, very challenging to do. Coming from, like I said, even about myself, to be very social, to then be more constricted and restrictive in my sociability, to then open up again. It is a challenge, but to see the evidence that you were well guided to do the things that you do. Like, you wouldn't see the material return and reward necessarily for something, not in this season. That's the difference in the World card here. Like, there may have been rewards for poor behavior and perverted behavior, is what I just heard and had to say, in the past. Perverted passion, there it is, so to speak, in the past. And the abuse of power, which would be the adverse of this energy here. But that cycle is completed. That cycle is over. Those that continue to operate in that frequency are ultimately going to sabotage themselves, more or less, if you leave them to their own devices. They certainly won't have an impact on you as long as you're staying committed to your own destiny and to your integrity, as it's been outlined for you to do so far. And then when you actually see the return on your investment in yourself, it's going to make it like a no-brainer. And that's probably why I'm saying it's like, it won't be a struggle anymore to just be you and do you, because it'll make so much sense, literally dollars and cents, for you to do so, that it would just be foolish otherwise. Like, what are you doing? Who else are you going to be? It's working for you. You're making money. You're solidifying a future, a destiny, establishing security for the long term with the Ten of Pentacles. It's like, and you're having a good time doing it. You're like a fool, a kid in the candy store, almost type of energy. Literally got your head down, doing what you love. What is left to be desired here, really and truly? So just keep doing what you're doing. Like, I'm so glad I did this and then try to like go back and forth and all that good stuff. Yeah, and I'm getting this as moving forward. This is new beginnings, away from new beginnings from places of heartbreak. Like, it's a thing of the past. Like, this Page of Wands, this is good news. You're not even thinking about disappointments anymore. You're not even going to be thinking about where you fell short, your fears. There is no fear with the Page of Wands. It's like literally a clean slate, someone almost like the Fool that's just excited to explore their power force. That's what he's looking at, that wand energy. This is you receiving that upgrade, that new inspiration, that new intel, ambition, and it being continuous, as a matter of fact, with the pages, to me, is given that it's never going to stop feeling fresh and new to you. You know, like there's always going to be that enthusiasm for something exciting. You know, it like it can, you know, when you're just doing the same thing over and over again, like eventually you could get bored, or, you know, just kind of it become mundane to some degree. But I'm feeling like with the Page of Wands present here in this regard is really speaking to the fact that life is always going to be exciting. There's always going to be some new adventure, something exhilarating, even of yourself, to explore. You know, never the mundane. Never, like, you see how bleak and dark this card is. I really absolutely feel like, just as with the Seven of Cups, it's the leaving behind of that energy, and even more than that, really totally transmuting the disappointments of the past holistically now. There it is, to infuse it as something that is powerful, you know, that you can use, that has value, that's going, you know, is literally like a power surge, even the worst of times at this point that are undeniable, you know, but now having the holistic perspective to know at this point exactly why everything had to be what it was, and knowing exactly how to give that to like designate that experience from a mental perspective too, which is important, because this is how you see your life experiences, good, bad, or indifferent. This is what you do with it, with the Page of Wands. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's see, a few more and then we're going to jump out of here, because my son, that was the devil that tried to pop up. My son was like, you doing a reading? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be quick. So he wants to kick it. Oh, we got two under here. Oh, rightfully so. We got the Ace of Pentacles, like big money, big money. I may even just have to, like, I don't know. We'll see if I can, what needs to happen here. But I feel like I should try to squeeze in two more. I mean, what do I really need to say about that? With the Ace of Wands, biggest passion card on the deck, the King, the Emperor, biggest power card on the deck, and personified, the Ace of Pentacles, biggest money card on the deck, and the Lovers, which is the most supreme expression of partnership and commitment that you can get. You know, it is the expression of divine union right there, and it being a gift to those that are within it and outside of it. That's what the Ace of Pentacles is giving me, like the treasure of partnership is what you can look forward to. It being so valuable and even priceless to you and whomever you engage with. And I'll go out on a limb and say, of course, as I always do, intimately, professionally, platonically, it could be all of that, really and truly. But even the platonic partnerships or professional partnerships have a twinge of intimacy. Maybe not necessarily like hugging and kissing if it's not appropriate to do so, but definitely like two people being on the same page, on one accord, sharing core values of a higher minded perspective, you know, and even attracting potential partners that are on the vibration that you're on, so you don't feel like you always have to be on guard anymore. Like, is this a good idea? Is this a good contract? Is this somebody I can trust? That's giving me that too. You know, certainly the love and the passion, for sure. But that it's that all around, and maybe even perhaps getting to fuse your professional life with your intimate life in very much so the way that can't afford kisses on the job, if you know what I mean, but in a practical sense. But what I really mean is just like partners really advancing each other prosperously, like creating businesses together where maybe you haven't before, or starting a new business, or just establishing yourself financially in a way where you just feel like power couple vibes. That's what it is. That's what it is. Power couple vibes that are dominating everything that they set their mind to. Not everybody or other people, but they are really just power forces to be reckoned with collectively and individually. That's what this is. That's what this is. This is a couple that's ambitious and with the ace cards, it's about being of a higher affluence, an elevated or exalted, there it is, an exalted influence and affluence, where you're looking to make almost a spiritual impact with your wealth, or even just with your connection, with it just being the pureness of your love and your partnership, but it's with the purpose and intention of doing something uplifting with it. So that means your businesses are high-minded or highly motivated to add value to the world. Your what you do with your wealth, or with your 10 of Pentacles, so to speak, assuming that that's what we're talking about, is securing the future for yourself and for the future of your children, and beyond and beyond and beyond, but also having a generous heart enough to add value to others, to help them secure. Like I was saying before, the establishments that you're creating are now helping others establish legacy and help and long-term stability and generational wealth is what I'm getting here. These are catalysts for that, that are not just intentional and motivated by the money to just hoard their wealth and this is rich and righteous. That's what it is, period. That's what it is. And two people being on the same page about it. So much so that, two heads are definitely better than one, so that it's just magnified, the intentions between the two. Even if you don't necessarily do the same thing in tandem, like you both are connected to a business or an establishment, but it's just like what you do, even individually, just makes sense, literally makes sense, dollars and cents, and makes spiritual sense, that it adds value to one another, to your union, to your family structure, to your legacy, and beyond and beyond and beyond. I'm actually surprised that the Page of Cups hasn't come out yet, but I mean, the Ace of Wands is just like an infusion, a combustion of sorts of power. And then the materialization of it is literally like putting your money where your mouth is, and that being itself, like I was saying before, the materialization of your best intentions. It's like the difference between a couple individually or collectively that has big dreams and goals and aspirations, and that be powerful in itself, just the intention, right? And then it comes to life, and then it comes together, and then it stretches beyond the two's wildest imaginations. And the same is so, even as I said, without it having an intimate inflection, as to why we get to be more open to co-creativity in general, because that's the nature of life force as it's designed to be, or as it was designed to be, and now it's being purified back to its organic form, where we do help each other. We do help one another succeed and reach certain heights, and we are better because of one another. That's the world that's being cultivated and that we're evolving into now. Let's just call it what it is, like now. That's what it is, and that's why you get to leave that old world mentality of having to kind of have your dukes up for disturbances all the time, because you wouldn't want to miss an opportunity to compound your creativity where it matters most, you know? So, wow, I'm astounded. Thank you, God. Thank you. All right, couple more and we out of here. I thought that was something. All right. Okay, what's that? There's the working together. Here's the single lady. You know, it's like you're just of course, you're as dynamic on your own. I don't know. I might have to end it there. Do I have room? I'm going to try to get another one. You may have, you get to be as dynamic as an independent force now as you can be collectively. And being secure in that collaboration and in that co-creativity. You know, that's all I'm really picking up from there, because you know the Nine of Pentacles is safe, secure, stable, all in her own right. Let's see the difference between the Nine, that's the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, that's community. That's community welfare, you know, in a holistic sense where there's equal give and take. The Six of Pentacles, there's equal give and take. There's a fair, harmonious exchange where everybody eats. You know, it's not just me, and I. It's collective we, where it matters and where it makes sense, of course. It's not a general blanket assignment, you know, as I like to say for sure these days, but there's a design for it all. And of course, it's up to you to discern what that gets to look like, knowing that you know, what I love about this is that, yes, the Nine of Pentacles is self-sufficient and secure on her own. So there's no despair in co-creativity or collaboration. There's not a dependency here or even a codependency. It literally is co-creation, because this is inferring that she could be good by herself, but we're a force when we're together, holistically so. Whether it be unions and partnerships or whether it be collaborative efforts, that's what this is given right here. But it works all the same. So like I said, it doesn't come out of desperation. So therefore, what's birthed from it, what evolves and materializes of it is not what is not despair. It's not impoverished. It's not poor-minded, you know. It's not something, it's not obligatory. So it's not born out of necessity per se or dire need. It's like a privilege and it's born out of grace. That's what I feel. Yes, I love that. It's born out of grace. All right, let's see what else we got here. What's that? Oh, Queen of Wands, my girl. I thought something else popped out. No? Okay. Queen of Wands, and that's how we're going to end it. Queen of Wands is looking off into the distant future, seeing, like, here's the Ten of Pentacles, just always thinking of how to be more creative, how to do more, how to inspire more, what new territory to set eyes on, you know, or setting her eyes on new territory, what to conquer, more or less. Like, this is like eternal creativity is what I'm feeling here. And then in the feminine aspect, it's the fertility of creative force, you know, not just throwing your wand around or throwing your weight around, but it's always looking to reproduce in the highest frequency. You know, it might not even necessarily be recreating the wheel or necessarily doing something new, even though with fire signs, we do love a new challenge. But it just may be looking to always enhance what is already, you know what I mean? Like to build upon and add value to what has already been born. And that's a reproductive function in itself, you know? So I love the Queen of Wands. She's proactive, but also receptive enough that there can be a balance there. You know, definitely with Queen of Wands, with Leo energy, it's an inflection of that masculinity that is that is ambitious and that is a proactive force and that is courageous. And not that the feminine aspect isn't that, because obviously she is, but it's given balance here, as I said before, knowing when to do just enough and not too much, when to assert yourself, when to express boldly, unapologetically, without inhibition, and knowing when to receive inspiration. There it is, inspiration with the wand energy. Yeah, when to be incited with new enthusiasm or new passion, or revitalized, regenerated to some degree. You're not burning yourself out, just doing the most, but knowing exactly when to sit down, maybe observe what's been created, and decide what can be enhanced and maybe even perhaps advanced from a clear perspective, from a passionate perspective at that. Ooh, I love this. Woo! Happy New Year! High Priestess! Wow. Wow. And this is just spiritual alignment. I'm not even going to beat it. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. This is supreme self aligned with source. Internally, externally, eternally. Long as this is what's true in the being of our creative expression, everything else is just par for the course. It's literally a cakewalk, just going through the motions of being a spiritual being in a human existence, having a human experience, like this is that. And it coming with so much joy and so much light, so much promise and potential beyond measure, having the support again of spiritual force on your side, overhead, exposing, with the Sun card, exposing anything that might be that might be a so-called secret or spiritual secret to you, not necessarily in a diabolical way, but this is giving light to what I was saying before about not having to feel paranoid about protection, because you got the sun looming over your head. It sees all, it illuminates all, it enlightens you from the inside out. So whatever you can't see with your physical eyes or can't sense with your physical expression, you will in the spirit. And that, what more security and certainty do you really need? To literally just be you, like literally however you felt ordained, and dare I say, anointed to be, to do, and to have, is affirmed in this reading, and certainly already done in spirit and in truth for 2024. It's just a matter of the fireworks at this point, wouldn't you say? Fireworks. That's it. Oh my gosh, what an amazing reading. Thank you, Spirit, so much for this empowering perspective of a promising future that's doesn't seem so very distant. Quite honestly, this feels like just around the corner. Like you may already see the evidence of this experience, glimpses of it already, but prepare to have your socks knocked off for sure. In one way or another, or in every way, shape, and form, like Spirit is really going to surprise you even beyond what your wildest expectations may have been. And I know I say that and it kind of sounds taboo, but this to me is like stamp of approval here, that the only thing that could have really made it so is if the Ace of Swords would have shown its face, honestly. But I feel the affirmation in my spirit that you can begin to celebrate, really celebrate all that you have achieved for yourself in life up until this very moment, and celebrate so much more to come. So much more. I feel like even greater later, meaning beyond the right now, than you ever could have imagined it would be, but certainly than it actually was. So, much love and light and luxury to you and all that you do. Liberty for all, for sure. Enjoy your celebration of yourself, whether it be with relaxation or actual, festivities, whatever it may be. Enjoy yourself. And I truly am in celebration with you and for you about all this wonderful, magnificent energy that's just storing up, it's building up like a big ball of fire. Get ready, because it's coming to you. You ready? You ready? You ready? There it is. Happy 2024 already, and thank you so much for your support and your engagement throughout this year and the time that this platform has been open. I appreciate your presence tremendously. I can't say that enough, and I wish I had other languages to express it in, because that's how deep it is. That I'm grateful for every comment, every like, every view that has come across this channel, and I am looking forward to just expanding this expression beyond the horizon in 2024. So until next time, until we meet on the other side, as always and forevermore indeed, I leave you with peace.